Hello, I'm Brandon Thompson, and today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial about my website I have made for my 10th grade ecology course. So I'm going to be just walking you guys through through the site and everything like that. As you can see right here on just the front page, we have a quote right here from the British Ecological Society. So if you want to check into that, you can come back to that. We're going to have to get going just because we have a pretty tight time frame here to get this in. So as you can see right here in my professional achievements, this is just my simple resume. It's just going to say kind of what I do, what I've done in the past. I'm currently the assistant track and field coach and game day administrator here at Susquehanna University. And if you go through it, you can see my educational background. You can see my volunteer work, and you can learn a little bit more about me down here, kind of down here at the bottom, just a little additional information just about me. So you can learn more about just my credibility and what I've done up to this point. So now we're going to move on to the lesson plan, which is going to be the bulk of this tutorial. So as I've already said, we're going to be discussing my 10th grade ecology course, and the title of the lesson is Biodiversity and Ecosystems. The academic standard in which I pulled from was straight off the Pennsylvania Department of Education SAS website, and used the standard 4.110D and its research practice that impacts biodiversity in specific ecosystems, with the core content being analyze the relationship between habitat change to plant and animal population fluctuations. For time's sake, I'm not going to really get too in depth with all this, but as you can see right here, I have my student learning objectives, the essential questions in which I'm going to expect the students to be able to answer once they've completed this unit or throughout the unit. Learning activities, so it'll be a worksheet, which will be their independent. We'll go over the worksheet for their guided practice. Closure, we'll do a ticket in the door, ticket out the door kind of thing. I'll ask the simple question, maybe define biodiversity and how it relates to the ecosystem. And just after, the student will, they'll write down what they think and it'll give me a good knowledge of how they're doing so far. To close out the unit, we'll do a summative assessment and I said will comprise a 4-page double-spaced paper with the prompt being explain and draw comparisons to how ecosystems and biodiversity relate to relationships between habitat change to plant animal populations. And this is just to ensure that all of my students are they're holding up to the state standard and I'm making sure that they're comprehending what I'm teaching. And this is also good for me because it's going to help me understand for future years to come what I have to really emphasize and what I've done well and what I haven't done well. So this is really for me as well, just to get good feedback. And I have questions here for Dr. Salik, which is we're going to look into more here in just a minute for her biography. She's going to be she's our professional researcher who I would be asking these specific questions to, which I'll get back to in just a moment. So we're going to go on over to her biography now. So Dr. Salik, she's currently a botanist and a researcher for the Missouri Botanical Gardens, which is one of the most pristine just research facilities in the world, actually, when it comes to botany. So she's really at the top of her field. You can see her education. She did her PhD at the Ivy League Cornell in ecology and systematics, master's at Duke, bachelor's at University of Wisconsin-Madison. And I reached out to Dr. Salik via email, so I'm still waiting to hear something back, but hopefully I'll hear something back so she can help with my lessons plan. Also, you can see here, if you want to go on, here's just a few links to some of her works. If you read it, it's really just, she's just so fascinating. She's the modern day explorer, and it's really fun to read about. And that's why I chose her, is that she's so well traveled. She's done research in regards to essentially basically right on our course content. And this is what she does for a living. And she is one of the leading people in the country and potentially the world in her field. And that's why I chose her. She had tenure at Ohio University, and she taught there for many, many years, and she was a researcher there as well. And then she finally transitioned over to the Missouri Botanical Gardens. So a few questions I just want to ask her was, what are some strategies my students and I can do to help with biodiversity in regards to plant animal fluctuation in our local ecosystems? The second one is going to be, from your research, do plant animals fluctuate at the same rate, or does one precursor to another? If one is a precursor to another, do you have any suggestions on activities in which I can get my students involved in our local environment to help minimize habitat change in our ecosystem? And the final one is, do you have any interesting components or facts from your research in which you believe I can incorporate into my curriculum that you think could help my students further understand the effects of habitat change in our local ecosystems and how this could affect them? And this is going to enhance learning because it gives students insight into how what they're studying is affecting their everyday lives and their natural surroundings around them, their plant animal populations. And coming from Dr. Salick, it's going to add another level of professionalism. And students are going to, respect this. They're going to listen to this. She's one of the top people in the world, so I really think the students will engage with this. And overall, it really just gets the students interacting in the lesson plan and understand what they're learning can really make a difference. So that's all we're going to get into today. Um, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have my email listed on my page right here on my professional achievements. Um, yeah, so please, I hope you enjoy and have a good day.